We're going to take a look at ExactShot on our GreenStar display and some of the different settings and things we need to understand if we are running an ExactShot system. So to begin with, I'm going to go into menu. I'm going to get to my ExactShot application. And right here, we have our different settings based on our configuration on how we're applying, what our rates are, what our nozzles, and a lot of that different setup information. So just working through our run page, if we start at the top left, we have our target presets. So if we are in continuous mode, what's our gallons per acre target? If I'm in dosing, what's that continuous effective rate as we're going? So when we're dosing the seed, what's the effective rate we're putting on the seed is similarly to if we were in a continuous mode. So we're going to continue with our dosing mode from this standpoint. At the top of our sections, we can turn off certain rows if we need to turn them off. If we were doing something like a pivot lane and we wanted to turn off certain things for whatever reason, we also have enable all and we can turn them all back on. Going back to our bottom left, we have our pressure settings. So what's our minimum system pressure? What's our spray off pressure? So when the pump is on, we're pumping product. We're not applying anything. What's the system pressure actually running at? So that would be our apply off pressure. We have our pressure relief. So when we shut the system down, so it bleeds all the pressure out of our tubes. Then also the tip clean out at the bottom. One thing with this, we do have our help at the top. So if you do need understanding of what some of these are supposed to be, what we're actually changing, you can come in here and actually see some of the information from the help documents also. All right. So I'm going to hit OK there. We move to the right. Then, like I was saying before, what's our dosing mode? So as a system, we just flat out off. We're not applying anything. If we're in continuous mode, we're going to be setting a stream like we would with like our exact rate system. But with ExactShot, we do want to focus on our dosing system. So our nozzle tip, that's something we want to make sure we have set up so the system works correctly also. Now, to determine our nozzle tip, we also need our specific gravity in there. So specific gravity, that's going to affect based off of the weight of our product. We can look at our operator's manual. We can also look into our help menu to find what this is supposed to be. So if I hit that little question mark at the top, I come down to help. If I scroll down, I'll find my specific gravity. I can touch that green box. Then based off of the weight of my product, with a few ideas of the different weights, that's going to tell us what our specific gravity is to the right. So say we were applying 727.7, that's 1.32. So I'm going to grab that 1.32 and key it into that specific gravity box. That's going to make a difference. If we think about our rates coming out accurately, product being used correctly, we do need to make sure we set at that specific gravity. Now the dose per seed and the dose length, if I can touch that on the right, then we have these settings here. So based off of what we want our effective rate to be, that's going to adjust what our dose per seed is. So say I wanted to be at 4 gallons per acre from an effective rate on that seed. So if we think about the 2 inches on the seed in this scenario, we're at 0.14 milliliters per seed. So if we were doing a continuous stream versus our dose, we're keeping that same consistent 4 gallons per acre on what the 2 inches of the seed would be. So that's how that concept would work. So if we think about what our target rate is right now at 32,000 seeds per acre, our effective field rate is only 1.2 gallons per acre. So we're saving roughly 69% of our product in this scenario. If I wanted to change my dose length, I have the options of 1, 2, and 3. Generally, everything we've done in the past has been at 2 inches, but that's where we can go in and change that. If we want to change our effective dose per seed, we can go ahead and change that. So say if I wanted this at 0.25 milliliters on each kernel, our effective rate now is 6.9 gallons per acre, and our field application rate would be 2.1 gallons per acre. So we'd be putting a higher concentration on the seed as we would be in that 3 gallons per acre configuration. But if I want that dose to be based off of my 3 gallons per acre, I'm just trying to save that product between the seeds. We'd still want to keep that effective rate where we have it from a traditional system in the past. So as we adjust those values on the right, that's also going to adjust what our tip size recommendation is and our speed range for those. So if I'm going to run 8-9 mile an hour with this ExactEmerge planter, I'd be wanting to use that O2 yellow tip going forward. So we've determined we need that O2 tip. I'm going to hit save. That's the one we have defined. If I needed to change it, I can touch that box and I can change between those different tip settings. But make sure that matches based off of what we're asking for the system and what our speed range we're looking for to be actually planting with. So that's our general setup with ExactShot. If we were going to change to continuous, very similar to what exact rate would have been. Again, we would adjust that specific gravity, and then now we'd be doing a continuous stream through that system. So back to dosing, all looks good. Can go back off. I can turn my pump on, my flow, and we're ready to go and apply.